Trusting your inner compass, a story about fear, well-being and true alignment. Let me share something with you, a story, a reflection, and a lesson I learned from a conversation that stayed with me long after it ended. A few weeks ago, I was sitting down with an old friend over coffee. Let's call her Maya. She's thoughtful, intuitive, and always looking to live a more intentional life. But that day, she looked troubled. We talked for a while, and eventually she asked me, with genuine concern in her voice, "But what if I believe in dangerous germs? What if I'm truly afraid of getting sick, even when I want to do the right thing?" You see, Maya's friend had been admitted to the hospital. She loved her friend dearly and felt a strong pull to be there, to visit, to comfort, to show she cared. But the idea of walking into the hospital filled her with dread. Not because she didn't want to go, but because every fiber of her being told her it was unsafe. Now here's the thing. Most people might have told her, "Just push through it, Maya. Be brave. It's the right thing to do." But something about that didn't sit well with her, and honestly, it doesn't sit well with me either. So I said something that made her pause. If you're truly listening to your internal guidance, that deep, wise voice within you, it would never lead you into a space where you feel fear, resistance, or dread. That feeling is your sign. It's your compass telling you, you are not in alignment yet. Because here's the truth we don't often hear, your discomfort isn't a weakness. It's information. It's your internal navigation system saying, "Not like this." I told her, you could choose not to go to the hospital, that's always an option. But then, you'd still feel uncomfortable, because now you'd feel like you've let your friend down. So either way, you're uneasy, not because of the germs, but because you're trying to act before you've come into alignment with your own truth. And so the real work wasn't deciding whether or not to go. The real work was finding alignment first. She needed to connect with her well-being, not just mentally, but vibrationally. To remind herself that she is safe. That she is strong. That she can walk into a hospital and still carry her own sense of peace, rather than absorb the collective fear that often exists in places like that. And that's what she did. She didn't force herself to go out of guilt. She didn't stay home out of fear. She paused. She meditated. She spoke to herself gently. She visualized herself surrounded by health and light. She took time to remember her own well-being. And when she finally chose to visit her friend, she walked in feeling calm, grounded, and whole. She left not just having supported her friend, but having honored herself, too. This isn't just Maya's story. This is our story. We've all been there, making decisions out of guilt, overriding our instincts to meet expectations, choosing fear and calling it responsibility. We walk into rooms, situations, even relationships where our inner compass is screaming, "This isn't right yet," but we go anyway because we're afraid of being judged as selfish or uncaring. But let me ask you this. What's more selfish, to go somewhere with fear and resentment, or to show up with full presence, peace, and love because you're aligned with your choice? Two people can walk into the same room, into the same hospital, for instance, and have completely different experiences. One walks in feeling centered and invulnerable, rooted in the belief of their own well-being. The other walks in bracing themselves for sickness, afraid of every surface and every breath. And you know what? It's not the environment that makes the difference. It's the relationship each person has with their own state of being. One is aligned. The other isn't. And no, this isn't about denying science or pretending germs don't exist. This is about recognizing that our beliefs, our focus, our inner vibration, play a profound role in shaping how we experience the world around us. We're not trying to erase beliefs here. Your beliefs are valid. But when your desires and your beliefs are out of sync, when your desire to help conflicts with your belief in vulnerability, you feel torn, anxious, uneasy. That's your signal. That's your inner GPS saying, pause, realign, don't act just yet. And this brings us to another important point. People won't always understand when you choose alignment over obligation. In fact, they might call you selfish. They might say you're avoiding responsibility, or being cowardly. But let's be real, often, those calling you selfish are simply upset that you're not yielding to their expectations. And in doing so, they don't even see the contradiction. They're asking you to betray your inner self in order to please theirs. But you know what? That's okay. Let them call you selfish. Because if you're not selfish enough to take care of your own vibration, if you're not grounded in your own well-being, then you truly have nothing real to offer anyone else. Alignment isn't selfish. It's essential. When you are grounded in your own clarity, your own peace, your own wellness, you radiate something powerful, and people around you feel it. You're not reacting to life anymore. You're responding to it with intention, with steadiness, with presence. And here's the beautiful part. The more you think and talk about your own well-being, the more you affirm it, envision it, expect it, the more your world begins to shift around that energy. You become less vulnerable. Not because the world changes overnight, but because your point of attraction does. You begin to live from a place of strength instead of fear. So let this be your reminder. You don't need to override your inner guidance to be a good friend, partner, parent, or citizen. You don't have to choose guilt over well-being. You don't need to sacrifice yourself to be seen as strong. True strength is alignment. True care begins within. And when you live from that space, everything else, and everyone else, benefits too. Thanks for listening. If this resonated with you, take a moment to pause today and ask yourself, am I in alignment with what I'm about to do? That single question can change everything.